Hello, everyone. My name is Sean De Gregorio. I'm the CEO and founder of Frontier Digital Ventures. Frontier Digital Ventures started in 2014. It started with the idea of investing in online classifieds businesses in emerging markets. My background prior to 2014 had been running online classifieds businesses in emerging markets in Southeast Asia and other regions. And prior to that, I'd been with the REA Group. So my background very much in online classifieds. And in 2014, we started to look at opportunities to invest in similar businesses, online property portals, online automotive portals, in more emerging markets around the world. We listed the business in 2016, and over the course of that time, have built a portfolio of market-leading classifieds businesses that are now grouped in three key regions for us. We have a group of businesses in Latin America, which we refer to as FDV Latam. They're all market leaders. They're in online property. They're in online automotive businesses and some horizontals. Latam is a significant part of the world for us in terms of our presence. We have a presence in Asia, FDV Asia, where we have another group of businesses, again, all property portals and automotive portals, and all market leaders. Similarly, FDV MENA, group of businesses there, growing that group of businesses, and again, same types of businesses and all market leaders in their category. So if people are familiar with online classifieds, they'll be familiar with the realestate.coms and the car sales of the world. We're running those businesses in emerging markets. We typically partner with local entrepreneurs. We invest as a minority when they're starting the business, and over time, we seek to buy more of the business from the founders, adding our expertise along the way until we own 100% and consequently fully control the businesses. Our revenues, you can see on the slide there that I'm talking to. Large businesses I mentioned in LATAM, large business in Asia, and a growing business in MENA. We're based out of Kuala Lumpur and are able to run these businesses effectively in combination with really strong local management teams who are on the ground and executing. So we're a very local country first structure. We're all about the local brands in each of those markets, and we support them with a small team based in Kuala Lumpur who have a long history in running these businesses successfully. So we've gone from essentially nothing a number of years ago to now having one of the largest portfolios of classifieds businesses in emerging markets. In terms of our business model, again, if you're familiar with the classifieds model, you'll understand our businesses really easily. If I use, for example, online property portals, when we were building our portfolio, we would go and look for early stage property portals in emerging markets. We avoid really large competitive emerging markets like Brazil or China or India, and tend to go to markets where there's less competition. It's far easier to be the market leader, and we can invest at a much more modest valuation and create a whole lot more value by being a market leader in some significant emerging markets. So really is founded around locally run businesses, startups that we can identify, that we can invest in. Over time, we will work with the founders, often leaving them in operational control of the business while we start to apply our expertise and help, and really some key goals of strengthening market leadership, because you want to dominate these markets, working together with the local team to achieve that. And then, of course, as the business starts to grow, as the business starts to become more stable, as the business becomes a clear market leader, the reliance on the local entrepreneur is less. And that's at a point where we like to increase our ownership of the business. So we'll generally start as a minority, work with the founders, build out the business, become a market leader, and then we like to try and acquire the rest of the business from the founder, and then exercise full control and make the most of the work that's been done in creating a market leader and the competitive advantage that that provides and the value that can be created around the business. Interestingly, with our model, it's always been predicated on ad spend. So we're generating ad dollars from car dealers, from property agents in emerging markets. Moreover, though, in recent times, in emerging markets, the opportunity to do much more than just be an advertising business has become real. And many of our businesses are now helping consumers not just search for a house or a car in one of our countries or one of our markets, but continue right through past the discovery process, connecting them with the seller and assisting them through the entirety of the transaction. So this is a strategic benefit that you have as a market leader. You can take what is a classifieds business, build on the foundation and the strength of that classifieds leadership, but be able to assist consumers much further than just search and discovery, right through the transaction, and work much more closely with the buyer and the seller and generate fees from the transaction. So all of our strategic strength is based around our classifieds leadership in these markets. But the value and the opportunity that we see is to do so much more than just stop at search and discover, but help consumers and sellers, buyers and sellers, connect and complete the transaction, and consequently generate fees from the transactions of houses and cars in emerging markets. Just to take you through some highlights and some key data points of our company, we recently released our Q3 results, our quarterly activity report, and we're a business that has really been focused on growth, on revenue growth. We started with essentially no revenue just a number of years ago, and we're now, hitting to quarterly run rates of 20+ million. So really focused on revenue growth. That's the big opportunity in our markets. But what we've also always said is we want to run sustainable businesses, and that means our business is becoming profitable. So for the first time in Q3, all of our regions, LATAM, MENA, and Asia, were profitable. That hasn't happened before. It's a big moment in the evolution of our portfolio and our companies and our business. So a really key data point for us is big focus on growth historically. We will continue to focus on revenue growth, but we're now reaching the point, a tipping point, where we're profitable. Our companies are becoming profitable, and we're generating positive EBITDA at an operating level for our companies, and consequently cash flow follows that. So significant achievement in the third quarter of this year. Long history of revenue growth. Will continue to grow revenue, but our companies are now becoming profitable. Our regions are profitable, and that's a significant outcome for FDV and, of course, our shareholders. Our aim, of course, is to continue to increase not only revenue growth, but our operating margin. And we did that in Q3. In dollar terms, we doubled. In percentage terms, we increased our operating margin, and all the while retain a really healthy cash balance. So if you look at the key performance data points for us, it's revenue growth, it's profitability, it's heading toward cash flow break even, and it's having a really strong balance sheet, running market leaders with tremendous amounts of growth ahead in markets where we're clear leaders. We recently also announced the continued evolution of our structure. So our three regions, LATAM, Asia, and MENA, we've now appointed a local CEO to run our FDV LATAM business. We've been running these businesses from our head office in Kuala Lumpur. We've always said that we wanted to run them locally, so that's a significant step in the direction of better management of our regions. We've also set an ambition for FDV LATAM to be, whilst autonomously managed locally, to also explore the potential to list on the NASDAQ exchange as an aspiration for that business. So we recognize that our job is to run really good businesses that grow revenue, that are profitable, that generate cash, and then explore ways to maximize the value for our shareholders in what's being created. So we're exploring that option. It's a great set of businesses in LATAM, and it's a certain catalyst for the value that we're building here in these businesses. Equally, we continue to look at our MENA group of companies, our Asia group of companies, and ways in which we can maximize the value that we think is sitting within those companies that perhaps is not clearly being realized with our current structure. So all of those things from a strategic point of view continue to be options for us. But meanwhile, we'll continue to run great market-leading businesses, growing businesses profitably in our key regions. Thank you.